Hi there and hello, I'm Bonita and I'm the artist and creator at Teacup Girl. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have a pretty awesome video in store for you, if I do say so myself. It's a sketchbook tour and it's actually been a while in coming, this tour. My sketchbook is from like 2019 to 2020 and it's simply massive, so it took forever to fill and it actually took me forever to film it as well, so it's been a hot minute since I've done one of these. When I went through and pre-filmed all the footage just looking at the pictures and stuff, I actually got to the end of that filming session and went, oh my goodness, this is like forever long and nobody's gonna want to watch it because the footage took over an hour to film. So I am going to break this video up into two parts. I hope you'll bear with me because it's a little bit awkward. I didn't plan for it to be a two-part video, but we've come to this situation, we're at the point, this is where we're at. So I think in order to keep this video rolling and not take too much more of your time, I should just get started with the first part of this video and I want to jump right into it. So let's do it, shall we? Let's go! So I want to show you the cover of my sketchbook. I decided to do a sticker cover, which was an homage to my two favourite cartoon cat characters, Hello Kitty and Pusheen. I don't know, I really like doing sticker covers. It's just like effortless and cute. So I put some stickers on the back, and this one's covering the brand name of the sketchbook, but I will show you what it is inside. It's the Derwent Big Book. So the first picture in my book you might have seen before, especially if you just watched like my last sketchbook tour, for instance. Yes, it's the same picture again for the third time. Well, you know what they say, practice brings progress. And the next page is a fairly simple page. It's just an art goals page. So I wanted to improve on my lettering, improve with watercolors. This was a big one that I actually did not get to tick off at all. I didn't do any watercolor painting, which was a bit sad. I did try gouache, which was really fun and I really enjoyed it. So actually I really want to try more of that. I did not get to try oil pastels. I don't know why I have it in my head that I want to try those, but I kind of do still. I practiced making patterns. I did some draw my day sketches. I did not keep working on drawing dynamic poses, unfortunately. I'm not really good with people. I just kind of don't enjoy drawing them so much, so I never do enough practice with it. I keep working on creating different characters. Yeah, I sort of did that. Practice drawing landscape backgrounds. I did actually focus on this quite a bit. I wanted to study Casey Golden's background and the way she does hers. I love the colour palettes that she chooses with the warm, earthy tones. I love the fact that her shapes are simple yet dynamic. They bring just enough interest into the background to make the foreground characters really pop, but they're not too overworked. So I enjoy that style a lot and I wanted to see what aspects of it I could maybe use to inspire and influence my own background drawing. So I did that. Keep paying attention to hands. If I don't pay attention to my hands properly, they just go whack. So I want to try working on those. Figuring out which ratios of mediums work for me. Yeah, this is a big one. I still don't quite know whether I like pencil and marker or watercolor. I still am not comfortable with using a mix of mediums yet, but I still feel like I need to use a mix of mediums because just one or the other doesn't quite cut it. So yeah, that's an interesting thing. Continue practice shading and coloring. I definitely did that. And I added the last one kind of a while later as a last minute thing to remind myself to draw more horses. So I am a horse girl. I have had horses since I was very young. I still have a horse and they're very much a big part of my life and I love drawing them and I want to celebrate them more. So I wanted to really include that aspect of my life in my art and try to draw more horse characters. So I put that in and I ticked it off because I love ponies. But I just want to say quickly, I really like how the layout of this page turned out. I think it's really neat and I think it's pretty. I love the monochromatic color scheme. And yes, that's a little chibi character of me. I just think this page turned out really nicely. Oh, this one was so much fun to draw. So I really wanted to try doing a very interesting picture where there was a lot of things happening in the background, the midground and the foreground. And I also wanted to try to make it such that your eye would kind of flow through the picture, trying to see all the small details. So it's a zigzag of the cloud to the sun, to the mountains and the rain over here, and then over here to these houses and cars, and then to this orchid, and to the tractor, then to the, I think it's supposed to be the bunnies in the house and the pony at the front, right there. So that was pretty cool. I did enjoy making this piece, and I think that was a lot of fun. And I really would like to paint it in gouache because I think it would look really cute as a painting. So that is a goal of mine. I haven't done it yet. It was done on the 1st of April 2019. It's now 2021 and I haven't done it yet, but whatever. It's still here. I can still come back for it, and I will do that one day. Then after that, we have the first of my Draw My Day pictures that I tried to do. I started off with just putting like this little banner up the top to kind of try to tell you what's going on. It has a date, 4th, 2019, signature, and my day. And I think this actually turned out really cute, so I like that a lot. And the text down here says the limited color palette is good, but I need to contrast the color to really make it pop. And I should add a bit more pink next time, but not too much. So my day apparently just started with lunch and food, as you do. And I had a nice drink and good salad at my favorite cafe, and they have these cute little chicken plushies that they have kind of scattered all over the table, so I had to include that. And I had some iced coffee, but I needed more. And then this little section here says that I was a sleepy zombie this morning and it turned into a tummy ache in the afternoon. So tired me, turned into painful me. I was not very happy. My daughter turned 6 today and I drew a portrait of her, which I don't know. This is the thing I hate the most about the page, actually. I really like the little wreath framing and the little butterfly detailing and stuff. She got a plushie hedgehog for her birthday, which she loves, so she was very excited about that. But why can't I draw people to look like who they are? It's so hard. It doesn't look like her at all, so that's why I kind of hate it. Even though it's not terrible, I just hate it because it doesn't look like her. So I wrapped her presents at some point. I can't remember when I did that, but I did it at some point. I had tea in my favorite teacup, and it was this tea, which is why I stuck it here. It's just to remind me that I love it so much. I don't know. That's random, but hey, it's a bit of fun. And then I had some good chocolate, so that was my first Draw My Day sketch, and I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. It came out really cute, and I need to do more of these. I just kind of don't, because my days can get pretty boring, and then if they are exciting enough to draw, too much is happening, and then I don't feel like I want to draw at all because it's too hard to fit into a sketch, so yeah, that's a bit tricky. This one is a Draw This in Your Style. That's a art challenge on Instagram. If you haven't seen it, people will post a picture that they'll caption "Draw this in your style," and basically you're supposed to draw the picture that they've drawn but recreate it in your style. So it's a very obvious explanation, but just in case you haven't heard of it, I thought I'd tell you what it is. So this star challenge was done by Hawkdog on Instagram. I transferred it to Procreate to do the final colouring because I just did the sketch in my sketchbook. And this is actually when I came back and added the I should draw more horses to my goals challenge, because I just wrote it down literally, I should draw more horses. So I really enjoyed drawing this piece. I remember I enjoyed creating the horse and the girl character, and I will insert a picture here hopefully of what it looks like as the digital colorized version. I tried to use a similar color palette to what he had used because I really love the color palette that he came up with. But then obviously I wanted to take that and twist it, and I think I added more colours and changed things up a bit. So I might try and see if I can find his picture and put it in side by side as a comparison. So this is what the two pictures look like side by side, and I think that was a lot of fun, and I should do more of these, but I keep forgetting to do them. Alright, next picture. Oh yeah, I was really sick in this picture, so my chronic illness sometimes really gets the better of me, and
that day it definitely did. So stairs were my nemesis today. I felt like the staircase in our house was just impossible to climb up, which is why it's curving back over. And yeah, that was a crappy day. But I do find drawing about crappy days pretty cathartic. It kind of helps it get it out of my system, and I don't know, it helps me kind of just breathe and go, okay, well that was a really crappy day, but I can let go of it now, because it's like I pour that out onto the paper and it gives me the energy to kind of reset and start over again the next day. So yeah, I do a bit of these. Then there's this one. This one was an experiment. So I was trying to do the whole create more characters, do landscapes and backgrounds and things here, and I actually had quite a lot to say about this picture because I was really happy with the shapes and the composition and storytelling. I like the art style as it was. However, the color palette is I kind of hate it, intensely hate it. I mixed these warm tones of like this like yellowy green up here and the warm browns with these like cool emerald greens and the cool sky, and, and look, the grass is a mess. You've got like yellow green and emerald. It just looks awful, okay? Like, I don't know who enjoys this kind of mix of like warm and cool palettes, but it's not me. It's not my thing. I don't like it at all. I think it's hideous. However, I did really enjoy creating this piece as I was doing it. I just picked the wrong colors, so it was a good experiment because I learned some things. And I learned that I do like using my pencils as the color base, so like filling in the color, flat colors, and then adding like marker for details is pretty fun. A little bit of outlining. I have to pull back though. Like I tend to go a bit overboard with my detailing when I use the markers, and I don't like it when it drowns out the texture of the pencil and the paper. Some people really hate this kind of like, oh yes, it's colored in kind of texture that can come through. I really want like a flat, even wash of pigment, something that you would get like digitally or like with marker on marker paper. But I personally love it. I love to be able to see the grittiness of the paper coming through. I love seeing the pencil marks and everything, and I actually really enjoy that. I think it's just so tactile, and when you have traditional art, I enjoy tactile traditional art because you just see so much digital art these days, and digital art is great, but you can't get the same feel. So for me, I'm like, well, let's have, you know, your flat, even washes of color with digital art, but let's make the traditional art really tactile. And so for me, this is just something that's a different arena. It's a different experience, and that's why I really love texture in digital art, and that's something I really enjoy. So I'm going to keep pursuing allowing the texture of my pieces to shine through, and that is something that I'm going to really focus on. So yeah, it says right here, allow pencil texture and white of paper to shine through, no solid color. So there you go. I felt pretty strongly about that. I need to have that texture. This was a fun little piece where I was just trying to throw down some doodles without thinking too hard about the different elements. I don't like the colors that I chose. Again, I've kind of mixed a warm and cool color palette, which is, yeah, bleh. However, I really like how I've done these little dots around each object, and that creates this kind of cohesiveness because it gives it a sense that these pieces all belong together. So I'm going to have to try that again sometime because I think that's a really cute idea, even if I don't think that this art piece was successful. Here we go. So I tried again with a much tighter color palette. I went and back and picked the blue and pink that I'd done for my Draw This Day sketch because I thought, well, that color palette was really successful. Let's try to do it again in something different. And I actually think this actually worked out pretty well. Some of the elements are probably a little bit less successful than others, but I don't know. I think these are pretty cute. I actually kind of really like how this turned out. So yeah, I don't have much more to say about that actually. I think it's cute. And this is another pattern practice. Oh, this is one of my favorite art pieces in the entire book. I had so much fun creating this. I hammered that pencil onto the peach, and yeah, that's kind of like opposite of what I was saying before about letting the texture shine through, but it actually created its own kind of texture, and it has this like smoothness and softness and velvetiness like a real peach. I don't want to touch it too much because it smudges it. But when I was doing it, I actually did use my finger to smudge parts of it, and it felt really good under my fingers. I was like, oh wow, that feels really good. And I love how well the Polychromos layer. Oh my goodness, I used like 500 different pencils in this particular peach, and it just was so much fun to layer it up. And this little bee, look how fuzzy this baby turned out. It's so cute. Ah, I love bees. Now the leaves were a little bit more challenging. I was finding them a bit more difficult to work with. I had to try a bunch of different techniques to like make them look good because they weren't really working successfully the first few things I tried. So I ended up, adding some whiteout. I ended up adding marker and shading. I think I got it there in the end though. So I was really happy with how these leaves ended up turning out, thankfully, because I was really scared it was going to ruin my picture. I was like, oh my gosh, I love so much of this. I need to make sure this works. So this, really happy with this piece. I don't know. I love everything about it. And actually, I really like this one too. So this one was heavily inspired by Casey Golden. I can't remember what she did. She did something with a horse, or was it a mule maybe? It was a donkey. I don't know. She did a very exaggerated horse character, which she likes to do, and I think it was with a dog. I decided to pare that back and do a more realistic it's not realistic at all, realistic horse character, as in it was less stretched with less odd proportions. So the proportions is more what you would find for a real horse, but then the details are not there. It doesn't have feet or any of the ankle joints that are happening down here. So if you know horses, you know this is not what their legs look like. But I like the style. I think it's just that nice mix between realism with the actual proportions of the head, the body, and the legs. That is very similar to a real horse proportion. But then it has that cartoon caricature-ness. Sorry, stumbling on my words there. Caricature part of it where it just is missing, like it's lacking those obvious horse details. But I don't know. I like it. I think he turned out very cute. And he's got a little bum bun, and it was supposed to be kind of like an albino? Is that how you say that? I think it's albino type of rabbit, which is why it's got the pink eye. I don't know why I did its fur purple. I think I was just trying to express like the whiteness, but okay, so I'm not quite happy with the bunny, but I really love the rest of this piece. So yeah, it turned out pretty good. This again was I think I started going with warm color tones up here and then kind of pulled it back a little bit and went, no, I'm sticking with a cooler color palette, and somehow I managed to pull that together a bit better than my last few times. So I gotta say, cool color palettes are not my favorite color palettes. Like, I don't look at this and go, wow, I love the colors. I look at this and go, I like the composition, I like the elements to it, but I wish I'd used warm color tones. I don't know what it is, so I have to be careful, like more careful picking my greens, because these greens are just, they're not doing it for me. They're really not. But my pony is cute. And seeing as he's the star of the show, that's all I care about, right? So here we have another Draw My Day. And this is when we went on holiday to Cambodia, and it was a travel day, and we were all really sick. Oh my gosh. That was pretty crappy. And this was like well before coronavirus. Please be aware that we weren't traveling while we were sick. This was like in 2019. Wow, that was a whole different time. So we all had masks for us sick people that we were wearing, and we said goodbye to Thailand. And traveling through the airport, there's always one extra bag that appears in your luggage count. I don't know why. We woke up really early. I cut my husband's hair before we left because it was a mess. I wore this dress. I don't know why I felt the need to include that. Probably because it was pretty. And then actually our kids got snapped all the way through the airport. Like every time we landed and we were going through like boarding, they all, like tons of people would want to take photos of them, which was really weird. The girls were not super happy about that because they weren't feeling well, but they had their masks on, so we all just kind of walked past, and it was funny. Let's see. Oh yes, I was going. We'd arrived in Cambodia and we were heading to our accommodation. It was really late at night, and as we were driving past in the car, I saw this beautiful woman on the back of a motorbike, and she just turned and looked at me, and the way her hair was blowing against the background of the wall, because we were driving past a temple at the time, it just looked so good, and the shadows fell across her face from the leaves above and the trees from her head. So I decided to take that and try and make a character out of it, and I don't know, there was just something really mystical and appealing about that moment in time. And obviously it was just a moment in time, so I didn't have any reference photos, or I couldn't do anything except try to capture it in my memory of how amazing this visual that I got. And yeah, I think I did an okay job of capturing it. Like there were definitely things I could have done better probably, but there was just something about it that was just very momentary. So I was trying to kind of grasp the briefness of the moment in the picture and keep it like dynamic and alive. I don't know how well I succeeded, but yeah, it was a bit of fun. Yes, this is Sketch My Day, Travel Day 2 and 3 for Phnom Penh in Cambodia. Brown Cafe was really yummy. I had some fabulous Eggs Benedict. We had lunch at Daughters of Cambodia. We went to an indoor playground. I got a really bad headache at the end of that because it was a big day and that was a lot of noise. And oh yes, we found our favorite ice cream store. So we had some Cold Stone. And yeah, we went on a boat tour of the Tonle Sap River, and that was a lot of fun too. So yeah, that was good. Oop, I'm bumping things. I just doodled this. I think I came back and I had a massive headache and I wanted to do something really simple, so I just drew all these like cup and teapot characters. And yep, there's a shop called Tea Leaf and Coffee Bean in, which airport is it? I think it's Singapore. Yeah, Singapore airport. And I don't know, I just love the name of that, so I stole it to title the piece Tea Leaf and Coffee Bean. That's a good shop. If you ever are traveling through Singapore, stop there and get some iced coffee. It's pretty good. Let's see. Travel day, solo. This is me taking myself off to explore Phnom Penh. There was a couple of sightseeing things that I really wanted to see, but obviously I have young children and I really hate dragging them around the city to look at stuff that's old and pretty dull and boring for them, but amazing for me. So I toddled off by myself to check some things out. I went to the National Museum of Cambodia and saw the world's largest hand-woven scarf in red and white stripes. I had a lychee lime and mint smoothie at the cafe there. It was so good. I saw the Royal Palace and the Silver Pagoda. Oh my word, it was amazing. I couldn't take photos inside the Silver Pagoda because they wouldn't let you, but like I wanted to. It was just gobsmacking the amount of precious jewels, precious metals, and artisan work that was in there. I picked a few things to draw. There was like this little cute little silver pumpkin-shaped trinket box. There was some silver pomegranates, and the guide explained to me that stands for fertility, and I was like, oh, okay. And there was these really pretty silver water lilies that were in this ashes urn. There was gorgeous, absolutely I died over it, French antique tiles absolutely everywhere through the palace. I enjoyed all of that. I saw this cute lion statue that was really cute, and I went walking underneath I don't know what they're called. They're these trees with this divine yellow blossoms, and I just was walking through an avenue of them, and it was just so pretty. And then I rode in a little like rickshaw thing and had some dinner, Japanese for dinner, and it was good. I really enjoyed that day. It was good. And this is actually kind of fun page to draw as well, because there were enough interesting things that I could add without the page being too overwhelming. So that was fun. I don't know what inspired this kitten in a daisy, but I drew a cat in a daisy. There you go. That was kind of cool. Then I went to draw a cat in a teapot, but I didn't color it because I really loved how it turned out, and I was just kind of scared to add the color. I didn't know what colors I wanted to do it, so I just left it, and I haven't touched it. So yeah, that's kind of boring. Oh, this character. I saw somebody had made a plushie with this design, like the teacup. They'd sewn it out of felt and added like all these flowers and daisies and this little face and detailing and everything. I just thought it was so cute. Let's see, who was it? Oh yes, Hannah Doodle Crafts on Instagram. Check her out if you want to see some adorable handmade felt plushies, because this was really cute and I had to draw it, so I did. Let's see, I did a Skillshare class on exploring colour, And while I was listening to that, I did this. I don't know if I like it or I hate it. I tried to reference it off my real hand, so it should be accurate, but I feel like there's something missing through here to show the depth of what's happening here in the palm. I haven't quite got that. I mean, it's supposed to be like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, didn't work. Not my best. I thought this came out cute as a pattern, but I don't know. It's all marker, and I think I don't like that. I like this one better. This was a lot more fun. So I used the same color red and then just a variation of the green tops, and I enjoyed doing this. But again, it's not my favorite because I don't like straight marker illustrations. So yeah, this one was supposed to be relaxing and easy, and I kind of said this over here, but it just wasn't. I think I was really trying to force it, and I felt very meh about the results. They're just, I don't like it at all. Just, yeah. Nah. This is another one of my most favorite pictures in this book. I just love it. So again, it has, big surprise, a warm color tone palette. Tons of pencil layering in here, and I used so many colors. I had so much fun building them up and layering them and letting each color have its spot to shine through. Again, with the leaf, that was really fun as well. I love those little like leaf detail patterns around the edge, and I don't know why the kitten has its head stuck in an apple, but it does. And I just think it was just a really fun piece that I enjoyed making. I just love layering colored pencils.
Well guys, I hope you really enjoyed looking through the first part of my sketchbook tour for this giant massive sketchbook of mine. I hope that some of the pictures in there might have been a little bit inspiring, or maybe you just really enjoyed seeing what other artists get up to in their sketchbooks. I know I do, because it's kind of like a sneak peek into the creative process and the mind of the artist, and like what are they heavily drawing on for inspiration, like where are they going, and like where is their journey taking them, and the different art style that they develop from those inspirations and those pictures that they just throw on the pages of the sketchbook. So I always enjoy watching a sketchbook tour. I hope you did enjoy this one. And if you did, maybe just let me know down below which picture was your favorite, because I love to hear any kind of feedback, comment, even criticism or critique if you have it. I welcome it, and I would like to improve and get better. So if you think there's something that I could improve on, yeah, you know, let me know and I can try it out. I can certainly always try to improve. There's nothing wrong with that. And I shan't keep you too long for this ending, because I'm really hoping that you enjoyed this enough to stick around for part 2. And I'm just going to like sit down and film the intro for that like right now. So hold on. Get ready, part 2 is coming. I hope to see you back here on the channel. Watch it very soon. And if you did like the video, maybe you could give us a thumbs up or click the subscribe button. Maybe you're really excited for part 2 and you do want to subscribe so you know when it comes. I don't know, but it would be lovely to see you again if I do. Thanks for watching. I'm going to see you later. Bye for now. Boop. Let's do it. Alrighty.